learning the lessons. And I'm sharing this because there was a lot of lessons I learned in the last 10 years, the last 12 years. And learning the lessons was an experience where I was literally bridging from this physical world into the spiritual world. And I'll be honest with you, I had no freaking clue of what that really meant. And I think we can all, as I share this with you, maybe many of you can relate to this. Whatever I have for that inside voice, whatever is going on in my world, and it was kind of like that mental back and forth dialogue. Am I doing this right? Am I doing that right? I had a certain level of success with it, and I'm sharing this because when I was in my 20s and 30s, it was going to school, it was landing and securing a job, and we all got to do it because we live in this physical world here. Was I passing the exams? Was I up leveling? Was I able to hold a job and all these cool things? And then entrusted with a lot of responsibility with certain jobs and certain careers, and learning the lessons switched the gears. Learning the lessons that switched the gears when I got introduced to the universe. And this is where it got very, very interesting for me. And I'm sharing this to inspire others that when something like this knocks on your door, take advantage of it. This is not for the faint of heart, by the way. It's when this happened to me, it was an opportunity for me to really look on the inside, and I had to ask myself, is this serving me, or do I really got to let this go? So, learning the lessons. When I showed up here as an ambassador for the soul, I made the decision to volunteer in this lifetime showing up here. I wound up finding this out more so in the last 10 or 12 years of my life. And learning the lessons was when I got introduced to the healing work, and I started to unplug the tougher soul agreements or the tougher emotional soul contracts. That was to release the friction or the resistance on the inside. And I had to ask myself on the inside, because it's an inside job, learning the lessons. And it wasn't an outside job with passing an exam or passing the criteria from somebody else. Learning the lessons was something that I learned directly with Source. I learned directly with the universe. And it's not that I'm any more special than anybody else. Each and every one of us can be doing the same thing. When the healing work began for me, it was an opportunity for me to cut and unplug the toughest soul agreements. And when I started doing that, certain feelings, certain memories, certain emotions, and literally everything that's recorded back here in the subconscious, and energetically later on, once that unplugs, you're going to start to unplug everything from the throat chakra, within the heart, the solar plexus. And living in this physical 3D world, another big one, or the other two big ones, is within the sacral, the life force, and within the base chakra. Because the base chakra, this is dealing with the physicality of things. I'm sharing this because I got inspired the other day with this information needs to get out there. If you're going through things like a divorce or a separation, or if you're moving around or you're bouncing all over the place, these are all things that I'd gone through. I even had an experience where, I'll be honest with you, I even lived in a warehouse for a couple of years when I had the time to get my commercial pilot rating. And then it was a few years after that, I wound up landing a six-figure job. So life steered me around in many different areas. And I'm sharing this because learning the lessons, we're no longer in this 3D consciousness, unless for those that decide to stay in it. When I made the conscious decision that this is my ticket to elevate and graduate and redeem myself back to the arms of the universe, I took it seriously. So when I would go on the inside as an inside job, when I started to unplug all the friction from childhood and from other things in my own life, or things or energies that on the inside, I had to ask myself, is this serving me, or is it time for me to let it go? initially I was interested, and then at one point I was forced with being committed with it, and thank God I jumped in with it. And as I started to unplug the energy, it's like a feeling. The feelings of anger. Well, what's underneath the feeling of anger? Well, then all kind of other stuff started showing up. And there's files of either not expressing things properly. There was grief, there was guilt, there was shame, whatever you can think of. And there was a lot of resistance, or things where there's an opportunity growing up where I thought, man, this is going to be a green light, and it never worked out like that. And I found out that from the lessons of it, when a feeling or an emotion would show up, I said, universe, thank you very, very much for showing me this. Thank you for showing me this painful lesson from the past. And I had to ask myself, do I need it, or can I let it go? And then I would let it go. And this is where the kicker would begin. The universe at the time, they would give me a lesson right away, or they would allow me to release the feeling, release the resistance. And then after that, it was an opportunity. Was it going to go back to the old, or was it going to start to up level and do something else? And that was part of learning the lessons with us. The big one, when I thought I had in my young 30s, I made a conscious decision after that I took a full step back. And this was a risky one. This was a risky one, but it was the best thing that I ever did. I took a chance on me. And honestly, I didn't give a damn or a hoot with what anybody else was thinking or saying. And at one point, there was a lot of strife. There was a lot of friction with that. It was a tough one. And for me personally, it was a tough one giving up my dream job as a commercial pilot. So allow me to explain a bit about this. When I showed up here, and the universe opened my eyes up to a lot of different perspectives or viewpoints, or certain lessons I just couldn't miss, or it was so blatant, like so blatantly right in my face with it. I acknowledged with the universe, okay, it hit home that I simply wasn't going to school anymore. I'm going now to school with the universe, and it wasn't the academics. It wasn't how smart I was, or the aptitude or any of that. I was starting to learn my lessons with my soul, and this was the cruncher. And I wish for anyone, if you have this type of an opportunity, if it ever shows up for you, take it. Because in this lifetime, we're all coming here to elevate, and I had to ask myself, honestly, with myself, was I learning in life? Was I progressing in life, or was I flunking? And there was many areas I thought I felt confident with, I felt good with, or I felt good with it inside of me. And there was other areas where I was like, oh my God, I don't ever want to see that version of me again. I don't ever want to live that type of an experience again. And I also had to say, universe, thank you for showing me things that, thank God I did see it, and I was able to process it or clear it out. And it gave me a certain peace of mind with this, an unbelievable amount of peace of mind with this. Because when I took that step back, and then as I started moving forward at one point, it allowed me the freedom and the space to start purging everything from as an inside job, with releasing any of the friction. And from the soul's perspective, for every one of us, when we show up here as a soul ambassador, we're all coming here to release whatever that entanglement is. Whether it's from the family, the culture, the religion, our own experiences or my own experiences. And then at one point you can go into the past lifetimes and then unplugging all that nonsense, addressing this lifetime first, which was the tough one. And once that was done, then there's the feelings underneath of it. And when I started to unplug all of it, it was like, oh my God, I had no idea that this is what was stuck in the family, or this is what was stuck in the ancestry of it, or why certain things kept showing up, or why certain habitual patterns had shown up. And at one point I'm like, this is coming to a full halt. So, and it did come to a full halt. And as I kept learning my lessons with the universe, it gave me an opportunity to start to up level. We're now in the 5D, and some days bouncing between the 4D and the 5D with this. And the growth of this has been absolutely astounding. It's unlike anything else that I've ever experienced, and I like to see the intention that at one point many others will have an opportunity to do the same thing, and they're able to do it on their own accord. There can be others that can assist a person along the way. I tell you right now, when I went through it, I had to go through it on my own. The good, the bad, the ugly, and there were some really the tough experiences, the tough love with it, and the experiences with the soul and with the universe to say, do I want to hold on to it, or is it time for me to grow and really level up? Because in every lifetime, the job never got done. So for me, learning the lessons was the aptitude and the willingness to drop the past, and then being able to say, I did things to the best of my ability. Universe, I want to call it the universe, source, soul, God, please show me the way. I'm open to something else. And we're never here on our own. So we're always here with our soul that's connected to from the silver cord toward the heart. And we also have our spiritual guides, and they've volunteered their time with getting us back on track with us. So I wanted to share this video because it was very near and dear to me. And it's, if you're ambitious, if you're driven, if you have that drive, or you have that itch inside of you where it's like, man, I got to get this done there, follow your heart, follow your gut with it, and keep going with it. So until then, some food for thought. Be kind with yourself, treat each other well. Take care.